Why it switched over to the TikTok viewing. Don't know what the hell happened there, but hello everyone, welcome back to the Zach GP channel. And of course, we have a very, very exciting race in 48 minutes. When I say very exciting, we have no idea how it's going to be, considering the last races we've had. Not high hopes. But in F1 fantasy terms, boy oh boy, is it very, very exciting. As we know, the Verstappen 2 times didn't work out. The Norris differential was the way to go. I need to adjust how it looks on TikTok. Here we go. Just adjusting myself there so then you can see a bits and bobs. But yes, please do feel free to ask anything about Final Fix. Any chip related, anything about F1 Fantasy. But the gist of it for me is if you have Verstappen, Final Fix over to Norris. Because the more I'm thinking about it, the more our minds haven't properly adjusted to the Baku effect of Final Fix, because Final Fix at the end of the day still isn't one of the better chips out there. It was just we had the most optimized Final Fix ever in Baku. So if we're still looking at a Final Fix that's going to give, considering it's a 2 times option, around 15 to 30 points extra, which Norris to Verstappen could easily do, then 100% it's usable. And considering we only have 4 races after this race, you're running out of times to use it. And realistically, I think it's just as good as anything we're going to get now to try and do it. Gaz Fisher, welcome to the chat. I've just Final Fix maxed out to Lando in. Yeah, I agree. It's a good thing to do as per usual. I'm happy that you did it closest to the race starting time, because you never know what can happen. Of course, we had that whole dilemma in Baku with Hadjar having issues when I Final Fix over to Max, me having a mental breakdown, and then Hadjar was fine, and then obviously Piastri crashed out, so it ended up working. But it's always best to Final Fix in the last hour while everyone else is getting ready. Hey Mike, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day to get ready for some racing. Land Final Fix Verstappen to Leclerc, so no. So Verstappen to Norris, I'm fine with, but Verstappen to Leclerc, I don't think it's going to happen, purely because we know what Ferrari can be like with lift and coast. I mean, there was a whole funny thing in the conferences that they were talking about lift and coasting for Ferraris, but at the end of the day, I feel confident enough vouching for Norris, but I don't feel confident that Leclerc will finish P2. There is a chance that Verstappen does get up to P2 again. There is a chance that Piastri can fight with the Ferraris. So I think out of everyone, it just has to be, if you can go Verstappen to Norris 2 times, that's fine. But everyone else I don't think is worthwhile. And then of course we have to talk about, actually before I do that, we're getting a lot of chats in the tag. Hey Hacken, how you doing? Hello Yannister. Hello, Mickey. How are you all doing? I'm fixing as well, but in another team, I can't switch Max. So, yeah. Russell to Leclerc, I'd say no to as well. Like, I know I did just mention that we're running out of time to use Final Fix, but it still needs to be a Final Fix that's going to give minimum of 10 to 15 points, which I don't think Russell to Leclerc would happen. And also, you kind of want it to be your 2 times driver that you Final Fix over, because like we saw in Baku with Verstappen, just it leaves more room, because like Hadjar to Sainz in Baku was 30 points. However, if you, I don't know who had a different, and I don't know who else had a good race, but let's say there was your 2 times driver who only got 15 points, you're still getting the same amount of output. So just remember that when you do something like that. Give me a second, everyone. I need to just get up the chat on the TikTok stream as well. There we are. We're sound as a daisy. If Daisy's a sound, I don't really know. I have exactly enough to go Verstappen to Norris. Is it worth it? Yeah, I'd say so. Listen, at the end of the day, let's head back to the budgets, because this is what I mentioned actually yesterday. Now, number one, we cannot accommodate for any lap 1 incidents. I think Norris, Verstappen, Piastri, they all have equal amount of chances to have a lap 1 incident. If you switch over to Norris, from Verstappen and he has a lap 1 incident, that is just extremely bad luck. So straight away, you can't take that into consideration when thinking of, are you going to move over or not? Because if it happens, it just happens. There's nothing much you can do about it. However, points-wise, this is where we come into it. Because Verstappen, he's looking good for the budget, and that's why it was a good move to keep with him if you're also going for a bit more budget gameplay. And now we've got this option to final fix over to Norris, which is perfect, because now you're getting the points of Norris with the budget of Verstappen. Absolutely ideal. Again, I expect Norris to get 25 points for the race win. Potential fastest lap points. I expect he's the highest chance to get fastest lap. I expect Norris to get around 35-ish points in the race. That's what I'm expecting. We'll see if it actually happens. I'm not accommodating for Driver of the Day just because people don't like Lando Norris. So I don't think it's going to go his way on Driver of the Day unless we just get an absolute dud race or he wins by like 20-odd seconds. That is how it's going to go. Verstappen, I could see his best result being second. So that's 18 points with 3 overtake points, 3 positions gain points. So that's 6. That's 24 points. So I think both maximum outputs is an 11-point gap already. So times 2 that, 22 points. So that's why I'm swaying more to Lando Norris as a 2 times, but no one else. I don't think it's worth Verstappen to Leclerc because Leclerc's best option is second place, and that's 18 points to Verstappen's best option, which is second with... obviously, that's, of course, without Driver of the Day. Again, something you can't really accommodate for because Driver of the Day is such a flip of a coin. We never know who's going to get it. But anyway, And Jackson, that's why I think he will get into the podium positions. That's why I don't think it's worth switching Verstappen to Leclerc, for instance. Whereas I don't fully trust what's going on with the Ferrari's race pace because we know what they can be like. Why did Verstappen lose in qualifying? Red Bull bad again? Not Red Bull bad. It's just everyone's around the same... everyone's around the same area right now. I mean, we just saw how close it is. Let me get up the qualifying results again. Quali... Mexico. Just look how close these times are. If we get rid of Norris, who had like possibly one of the best qualifying laps of his life, look, less than a tenth, 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 less than a tenth. The field is so close. It's just we're gonna get tracks that are better for each car. Like apparently. Because we never know going to these high altitude tracks who's going to come out on top. And apparently, this time out, it's McLaren. We'll come over to Brazil. That could be another Max Verstappen track. And then he'll go and do brilliantly. It's very much track dependent now. So that means Mexico, McLaren. Brazil, McLaren or Red Bull. Vegas will be Mercedes. Qatar will be again McLaren or Red Bull. And Abu Dhabi, I don't actually know. Probably another potentially McLaren or Red Bull track. But let me get back into the chat just for a second. I'm so disappointed that I oversaw that I could have had Norris. Oh, really? It's fine, no. It's fine. We still have a decent chance for Max to get good points. I'm with Norris, Verstappen, Red Bull, Merc with autopilot on. Needing a bad race from Ferrari being... Hey, that is the beauty of F1 Fantasy, where you're begging for your own team sometimes. Like Max Verstappen in COTA, extra DRS. I'm praying he wins the race, even though I'm a McLaren fan. Yeah, F1 Fantasy makes you do weird things. Actually, that's any fantasy game in general. Well, here's the thing, because I would like Final Fix Russell to Leclerc worth it. I don't think that's worth it. I don't think Verstappen to Leclerc's worth it. I don't think Russell to Leclerc's worth it. I don't think Piastri to Leclerc's worth it. I don't think Piastri to Verstappen's worth it. It's just worth it if you've got Verstappen to Norris. Because it looks like, from what we've seen, Norris will probably get eaten up in the first corner, be second or third, but he'll just make his... That actually probably works out better for F1 Fantasy players. If he drops behind Leclerc, re-overtakes, I could see this being a comfortable 10-plus second victory. What's happening turn 1? Well, that's the thing. We have had incidents here, and this is why I stress so much in F1 Fantasy, especially using the final fix here. You can't accommodate for if there's a crash. Like it's gonna be pot luck. you either get lucky or you don't get lucky. And these sorts of things do make or break an F1 Fantasy season, but there's nothing we can do about it. Well, maybe they can do something about it next season, potentially lowering DNFs, but that's a discussion for another day. Yeah, we missed the 110 Final Fantasy opportunity. So, Lannister, that's actually something I mentioned because I know... Lannister, there's some good videos on YouTube. Yannick was looking at some of them. He's posted some of them in Discord where they show the race pace of different teams, especially in FP2. The McLaren race pace looked really good. So those are the sorts of things I go off. And then also the quali. I mean, that one's pretty obvious. But yeah, it definitely comes down to watching analysis of FP2 and FP3 videos on YouTube. They're really helpful. And normally the articles, obviously, we get a couple coming out in F1, but we know what they're like, those simulations. Half the time they can be pretty rubbish. What was I talking about? Sorry, I got distracted. Yes, turn 1, like I mentioned. If there's a DNF, there's a DNF. There's nothing we can do. But be prepared if you do find a fix over to Norris, and if you do have Norris, be prepared for a... let me get back over to live scoring. Be prepared for Norris to not be first place into the first corner. 100%. I would be so surprised if he kept it. However, like I mentioned, it would actually, if he does have the pace end of, it would actually work out better for us. Oh, also for the Ferrari pace, I actually didn't get this from this race weekend. We just know how bad they are with having to lift and coast with the issues they've been having all season long. So that's an all season long problem, why I'm a little bit worried with Ferrari's race pace. However, again, we don't know until it starts up. Just they're more likely than anyone else. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Yes. Sorry, thank you, Lannister. Yes, so you've just got to keep that in mind, the final fix, because it has swayed it has, like, not made us delusional on final fix, but a little bit like, how do we get the maximum out of final fix? Because that 110 final fix choice will be the best final fix for years to come. Like, that is a once in a blue moon sort of thing that happens in F1 Fantasy. So if you're looking at a final fix, the gist of it is you should still be looking for anywhere between 15 to 30 points being a good final fix option. It literally just was that Baku one was the biggest anomaly I have ever seen in F1 Fantasy, just because of how many people had Piastri and just because of him DNFing. That is literally it. The same thing. I mean, it wouldn't be the exact same thing, but it's like if everyone final fix over to Norris and he DNFs. Like, you can't accommodate for those things. It'd be a swing in the other way, but that would be how the cookie crumbles. What's this all about? McLaren sabotaging Piastri? So, actually, if you guys want a good little video on this, watch the analysis of the quali laps they do. Either on any of, however you watch it, Sky, whatnot, whatever, they actually show where Piastri's lost time to Norris, which is really good in, like, figuring out exactly what's gone wrong. And then it does help out with, obviously, the whole people talking about the car not being exactly the same. And it basically debunks all of that. Now, team orders and stuff, definitely not the same. We've seen McLaren dick about with that. Lannister, don't you start manifesting that. Don't you dare. Yeah. You're going to give me a heart attack. But yeah, those are the sorts of videos you should watch to check if there is actually anything going on. And you'll notice that it is all just confidence. Like, Lando was just getting on the accelerator quicker than Piastri half the time. And he was also just carrying more speed, so he was chucking the car a bit more. And again, that just all comes down to confidence, which we know Piastri's not the best in Mexico, so maybe it's just a track thing. Who knows? But we'll see in Brazil, realistically, because last year in Brazil, Piastri wasn't that bad. Obviously, in the sprint race, when it was not raining, he was good. And then again, if it doesn't rain again, I expect him to be right up there with Norris again. If Verstappen gets driver of the day, do you think it's still worth final fixing to Verstappen to Norris? So Gian, no. So if he got driver of the day, it wouldn't be worth it. But here's the thing. Like, this is what I have to talk about in F1 Fantasy. There's things in our control and there's things out of our control. In our control, we know Norris is most likely to get the race win, most likely to get fastest lap. That's about 35 points. In our, what we can control as well is we know Verstappen's best option probably would be second place from fifth. That's 18 points. 6 points from overtaking and positions gained. But then we get to stuff like driver of the day, and you just don't know how... You don't know... It's a popularity contest. You don't know what's going to happen. We could have Sainz coming from 12th back into the top 10. He might get it. You might have someone like Leclerc who just ends up finishing P2, and because people don't like Norris, they go for Leclerc driver of the day. So it really is, long story short, you can't really accommodate for driver of the day when you're thinking about stuff like this, just because it's such a whole... No one has any idea how the hell driver of the day is going to go down until the checkered flag, and then we get those results, which is also why it shouldn't be 10 points. But that's a time for a story for a different time. Right, what have we got here? 80% owning Max, maybe it's worth it. So yeah, of course, let's head over to the things. This is actually what I made my TikTok sort of on, which is why I pushed over to Norris in the first place, where Norris is such a big differential right now, which makes him beautiful to have, which is very, very exciting. But it also does mean if anything does go wrong with Norris, it's the exact same for us. So highs of the highs, lowest of the lows. That's why you got to risk it for a chocolate biscuit if you're doing something like this. And the car does not have that edge anymore. Norris manifests that type of car. I would say in Mexico, McLaren looked like they had the pace. It just did look like Piastri didn't have confidence in the car. So I do think McLaren looked like, just in general, the fastest car here. It's just not Piastri's best track. What you guys think we should keep Final Fix for a sprint race weekend? So Pinguoto, here's the thing. Because I was talking to Captain on the Discord, right? And this is another great example of it. If you have more than 3 chips left, I recommend using Final Fix now to Verstappen to Norris. Because we've only got 2 more sprint races. So you're going to want to be using those bigger chips. Like, let's say you've still got extra DRS. That takes Qatar out of the consideration for Final Fix. Let's say you've still got no negative. That takes Final Fix out of the option for Brazil. Let's say you've got Limitless, Autopilot. All of these options would be better at sprint race weekends. Whereas a Final Fix you can use on a race weekend like this. So that is why I just say be careful on how many chips you've got left. Let's say Final Fix is your last chip possible, then maybe you'll want to keep it just in case anything drastic happens. But if you've still got a few chips left, then they're going to be better used at the sprint race weekend. So Final Fix isn't something that you'd have to push out then and there. And that's also the thing. Lannister brings up a good point, actually. We haven't had talk of engine penalties, but from what I know, we haven't... Obviously, we don't... It doesn't sound like anyone's going to be getting them anytime soon. But again, if any of those top 4 team runners did, bar Antonelli and Tsunoda, I'd be telling everyone to Final Fix over. Actually, to be fair, it wouldn't even be... The issue with the engine penalties is actually probably people would just be running them anyway, if we did have some news like that. Unless it obviously was a penalty between qualifying and the race, or if they did qualify badly. So you've still got time if Final Fix is your final chip of the season that you've still got. But if you've got other chips, I'd recommend switching over to Verstappen to Norris. If Lando wins and Piastri is P4, we have a new leader. Yeah, it's a very, very vital race for Norris, which is why I'm also a little bit worried about lap 1. And I don't think he will be leading the race after lap 1, potentially second, even third. Because at the end of the day, like Hamilton was saying, he has everything to lose, we don't. So the Ferraris are going to be coming hard and fast, chucking it left, right and centre. And Norris knows, even if he drops down to third, he'll still have a good chance for the win. And all he's doing is knocking off points of Piastri, still in third. So I could see Norris taking it a little bit more cautiously heading into turn 1, just making sure that there's no contact. But at the end of the day, even if he dropped to third, I still think he'd have the race pace to get back into first. Um, Final fix worth it? No. So the only final fix worth it would be from Max to Norris. Any other driver variation, I don't think's worth it. Yeah, basically, it's all it's buts and maybes. Hakon's right on the money. It is all if buts and maybes. I can't tell you if there's going to be a better time. Like heading into Baku when I used it hoping that there wasn't going to be a better time. Of course, it ended up being brilliant. But even at the start of the season, when you're looking at some final fix options, you're never going to know. You just have to go with what your mind is telling you. At the end of the day, we're going to be in another situation like this, 100%. At the end of the season, in one of the last races, will it be better? We'll only know after Mexico. So take that as you will heading into it. But I can tell you right now, before the race, Verstappen to Norris logically makes sense with everything we know. Verstappen to anyone else doesn't for now. Mate, Oz, what's up with this new? Obviously the hair obviously doesn't look amazing because it's been in a hat all day. But wait, Oz, what is your issue with my haircut? I like it. Yeah, but also to support McLaren. It does feel weird though because I haven't had it cut this short for a while. Well, where were we up to anyway? Here we are. What is your gut saying? So, Hakon, I think from what my team shows, I think everyone knows what my gut's saying. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Norris. I think my gut is telling me Norris. Purely because I went for him without the final fix. My gut was like differential, Norris, good as gold. And with the final fix, you're taking even less of a risk because you're not getting any of the budget issues. Like realistically, I'm now hoping, if we head over to the budget, I'm hoping now that Norris gets over 49 points. Will he? I'm asking for a lot, but even just getting a minus 0.1's not too bad. But I'm going to lose out definitely 0.2 million swing to people who had Verstappen to begin with. But yeah, my gut is telling me Norris will be fine. So I have to wait and see. How about a buzz cut? Are you crazy, yours? I've had a buzz cut a couple of times in my life. The last time I had it was second year of uni. So how long ago would that have been? 2 years ago? Yeah, I've been out of uni for a year. So yeah, got a buzz cut because my hair was doing my head in. At that time, it was like down here to be... Actually, you've all seen my long hair. If you go back to any of my videos a year or two ago, first of all, I was blonde. So that was already different enough. And then also, the hair down here, it was it was luscious locks. That's how you describe it. It was very nice hair, but it was a lot of maintenance. It's like, it's like you get woken up with bed hair. You need some products in it, and it's just like, short hair like this. You don't need to dick about with it as much. No, it's just easier, isn't it? But anyway, enough about hair. Back to F1 Fantasy. Okay, all right, Oz. I'll give you that challenge. I will have a buzz cut if one of the Alpines gets a podium. There you go. I've given you the challenge, but I've made it impossible. Oh, please. I have not just manifested an Alpine podium, hopefully. And you can take my word for that. I'm pretty good with those sorts of things. Lannister asks, what's the best weekend for wildcard? Because if I use it, I lose my third transfer and have 3 times, and I get no negative chips left too. Well, realistically, it will be good for any sprint race weekend where you don't want to use a proper chip. And then it will be good in Vegas. I think it will be good for Vegas if you want to wildcard over to a Mercedes team or set up a team for Qatar. And I think those are the next best options coming out of this race. John says, stuck with Oscar today. Don't trust Ferrari to final fix. Can't afford Lando. Yeah, I think that's fine. I still agree Verstappen to Norris is the only viable final fix today. Yeah, Oz. It was a look for sure. It was definitely a look. Michael asks, how about No. Norris already in my lineup. I would say no on that purely because it's the 2 times option. If it was Verstappen to Leclerc and you still had Norris, but Norris was the 2 times option, yes. But I still have faith in Verstappen bringing more points in or similar points to Leclerc. So I would say no to that one. Stick with Verstappen. We'll see what Ferrari's pace is like. Right. We have got 23 minutes till the race. So just to reiterate again, final fix Verstappen to Norris. I agree. If you have the money, do that. Any other final fix isn't worth it. So far this weekend, Norris as the differential has looked sublime. Can he carry it on? Who knows? It looks like, statistically, Norris will have the pace to go and win this race. What time is the race? The time is in 20 minutes. So my time, which is UK, it's not BST, we just changed over. GMT? I can't even remember. We haven't been on it for donkeys. Yeah, but just of it is the race starts at 8 o'clock my time, which is in 22 minutes. Oh, let's see how it works. I will say, with all of the final fixes, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Because I think this number with final fixes will now move up to more of a 30-40%. So still a differential to Verstappen, but it'll be slightly less. What about final fix Leclerc from Piastri? I don't think so. I don't think... Because initially, most likely, we've just seen someone with the 2 times, but that's Verstappen to Leclerc, so a different reasoning. But I just think most of the time, Piastri Leclerc aren't the 2 times option, so you're not going to be wanting to final fix them. Final fix normally is better on the 2 times option. And then also, I don't see a world where Piastri and Leclerc's points difference is that crazily different. We'll see though. We'll see. But yeah, I don't think it offers enough. If I'm a little bit cautious on the Verstappen to Norris one, which is the only one I'm guaranteed on, then I think that speaks levels for every other final fix option. Yep. Hopefully it's a great race. Good luck to everyone. Hack-on. Good luck to you as well. I'm so hoping we don't have a lap 1 incident with Norris, because that will so do my head in. Just because, again, like I mentioned, there's nothing I can do about that if we get a lap 1 incident. So we're just going to pretend that that's physically impossible. Physically impossible. Ferrari boys, don't touch him. Please, please. I don't even care if they overtake. Just don't touch him. I think Piastri to Norris is also good. True, actually, yeah. Lannister, thank you for bringing that up. That is also very true. Piastri to Norris 100% is a do as well. I think I just forgot because on the Patreon, it's only 5% Piastri, which is incredible, by the way. Because if we go back, 2-3 races, Piastri was... I can't remember what it was, but it was definitely above 60-70% ownership, which is incredible how much it's dropped off. For anyone who wants to know my quali results so far as well, I got 78 points. So very good. It's such a shame I couldn't afford Ferrari, but that's how the cookie crumbles. And for anyone who wants to know what that looks like in the league, in the global league, I've gone up 300 spaces. So that just goes to show that how close it is in the world. And if this ends up being a really, really good weekend, oh my word, will it be good. Who's your candidate for fastest lap? It's got to be Norris. It has to be Norris. I mean, I wonder if on the team calculator... No, I wonder what it gave the percentages. Yeah, not going to lie, I disagree with the driver of the day. Just because people hate Norris. No, I'm just worried about anyone touching him. Like, it's a dangerous first corner, alright? He could get easily swept off the floor, off the line instantly. And then also, heading into that corner, it's such a hard braking point. Great voice crack there. It's such a hard braking point that if anyone screws up, it's not a corner where if you screw up and you collide, you normally continue your race. We've seen what happened with Perez a few seasons ago. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm worried about, but we're not manifesting anything like that. Yeah, yeah. And again, the scary thing is there's nothing we can do about that. But on the simulations, I don't agree with 30% on driver of the day. I think Verstappen has a better chance of driver of the day than Norris. Just because, yeah, no one really likes Norris in the global sense of things. But I would probably put fastest lap even higher percentage for Norris. But again, I agree. Norris has to be the best for fastest lap. Lannister, 138 budget. Do you think it is better to carry one of the Alpines and take a other good driver or spread the budget? It depends. So at 138, actually let's use this for now. Because I haven't used this on stream for a while. But I'll say if I disagree or not. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Let's get rid of Antonelli. Never mind, let's get rid of Hadjar. Let's get rid of Sainz. Let's get rid of Red Bull. We're getting to the team I want to show. So this is the sort of team I want to show. If you've got like 138 million, it might be Leclerc, might be Russell, might be for you, depending on what your budget looks like heading into next race weekend. Potentially, it could be up to Ferrari as well. But realistically, with that sort of budget, you'll be wanting to look at McLaren, Mercedes, or McLaren, Ferrari with Norris or Verstappen. So probably for next race weekend, the general going back will be Verstappen again, with Leclerc and Tsunoda. Or the other option, now hear me out, the other option would be to get rid of every single person here. And here we go. McLaren, Mercedes, Norris, Verstappen. And with double Alpine, it would be worth it. I actually think I prefer this one because it gives you the best assets in the game who look like the best ones for driver of the day. Maybe not driver of the day. Verstappen-wise, good. Fastest lap, definitely. Race wins, definitely. And with Piastri's drop-off, it's good. The only sad thing is keeping Mercedes, but who knows? They might be looking pretty good heading into Brazil. Find a fix for Verstappen? If so, to who? If you find a fix for Verstappen, only to Norris. Only to Norris, otherwise none of it. No one else is worth it. Will Max perform? He was complaining the other day about the Red Bull, especially race pace wise. Who knows if he was just whinging or if it's true. I think what's more important, because Verstappen's Verstappen, he can Ferrari playing the team game where, let's say, Verstappen gets up to 4th, he can't go any further because Leclerc's giving DRS to Hamilton and they're holding on, blocking Verstappen. I could very easily see that happening. So it very much depends all on how it works with Ferrari. It actually might work in your favour if Norris gets overtaken by Leclerc and the Ferraris get split up, because then it would leave Hamilton a bit more exposed to an attack from Russell or Verstappen. Black screen? What, Nixie? Wait, what? Is it not showing, Oh, what happened there then? Did the stream just cut off? Oh well. It is... No! I don't know what's going on then. I'm hoping it's going to be alright. We'll see. What the bloody hell? Hang on. I wonder why it's doing that. Also, look at this cool switch over. Whoop. Whoop. I love Streamlabs. Anyway. Alright, cool. It looks like it's fixed itself, so that's fine. For anyone who wants to know, that's how I do my recording for my post FP2 videos. I put that all into a thing and go with it. Easy peasy. But honestly, I think that's about it, everyone. Let me give a summary of what you need to know. If I go back to the live scoring. So, the big summary is I maybe Let me check on my before I give the summary. Let me check on my own iPad backup, see what's going on. I might have just lost a bit of connection. Yeah, I think maybe I just lost connection. Yeah, that is what it is. It's only showing me the last 2 minutes. So if you refresh it, it should be fine, I think. I potentially just lost Wi-Fi. But the summary is... yeah, Nixie, spot on. Well, at least for DNFs and Driver of the Day. But Verstappen to Norris, final fix if you have enough budget. Verstappen to anyone else, no. Piastri to Norris if you have the budget, yes. Piastri to anyone else, no. Let's hope Mercedes can show us a bit more pace as well to make sure that we don't lose too much pace on the Ferraris. Verstappen's race, it all depends on if the Ferraris get split up and their race pace. So we'll see what goes on there. Sainz looks actually good. I haven't spoken about him, but Sainz looks good for some good points. Getting his quali points and starting further back than he should be. Hopefully he can recover and then he doesn't get those positions lost issues. And that's about it, everyone. Hopefully it's a good race and no issues happen. We can hope nothing happens into lap 1. I'm hoping for the most boring lap 1 at the front ever for F1 Fantasy, because this will be huge. But yeah, that's about it, everyone. I'm going to go get ready for the race. I'm going to go get it set up. I'm going to go get a snack. I'm going to relax. I'm so worried. I'm so worried. I've seen all the memes where it's like Verstappen. Verstappen's in a shit sandwich of Russell and Antonelli, who could easily both crash him out. But anyway, enjoy the racing, everyone. I'll be back with a live stream after the race, depending on if I'm depressed or ecstatic. We'll see. If there's a lap 1 incident, I don't think I can show my face around here for another time. And then I'll also do my race review as per usual. But we'll see. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Oh, hang on. Sorry, Malik. I have no budget to do one-time fix for Norris. Is it worth changing Max to a Ferrari driver? I would say no. I don't think it's worth it. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to enjoy the racing. Let's hope F1 Fantasy gods look down on us with some hope, and that we prevail this weekend. And of course, thank you all so much for watching as per usual. And yeah, thank you all very much. Like and